Well, as you can tell, I've got a lot of area to cover when it comes to blowing leaves. And today I wanted to go over some of the different leaf blowers that I've had and regular blowers, the cordless battery powered blowers, and also some bigger blowers that I've used over the years or have, and wanted to go through each one and give you a understanding of how I use them and what works best. I finally found the ultimate leaf blower. So stick around and we'll discuss all these different options that I've used over the years, and hopefully give you some really good footage today of using some of these leaf blowers. And now it is pretty windy today, so we're going to be battling Mother Nature. All right, so I've got my son Chase here with me to help out go over some of these different blowers that we're going to be using today. And the first two are both DeWalt Cordless 20 volt battery operated, and they make those particular models in all different brands, whether it's DeWalt, Milwaukee, I think even Makita makes some of them, Ryobi and all that. I just happen to have the DeWalt brand because that's the most common battery that I have, so I tried to stick with the same brand so I didn't have to have 10 different types of batteries and 10 different types of chargers. But what I wanted to show you with these particular blowers is, no, this little one here is not good at all for leaves, but it is perfect for blowing off a table saw or a chop saw when you've been working in the garage and it's dusty. And then the next bigger one is what I use to blow the sawdust and debris out of the garage, off the floor, out into the driveway. So go ahead, Chase, give a quick demonstration here of cleaning off the table saw. All right, so it's just that quick and simple and easy. Now these two pieces are cleaned off and they're ready to be wheeled back. But what it's done, and obviously from when we were cutting, it also has left sawdust on the floor, and that's where this particular unit comes in handy, is to just blow them out the door. And I kind of really like to do this better than sweeping, because a broom doesn't get that fine dust up as well as what these things do. All right, and there you have it. There's those two blowers there. Like I said, the small one's not very good for leaves. The bigger one works pretty well for blowing out the garage, blowing out small areas around your house, maybe a porch, something like that. So you might not need a big unit, but we're gonna go ahead and jump on to the last cordless leaf blower I have, and we're gonna go up and show you how I blow out the gutters to keep the downspouts and everything cleaned. So I went and grabbed a little Ego leaf blower, the 650 CFM. I'm going to climb up this ladder onto the roof for the garage here, and this is why when I used to do this with a backpack blower, it was kind of dangerous. But I can literally just take and pick this up with one hand, set it up on the roof, and it makes it pretty simple. So let's head on out to the gutters and get them all cleaned out. So now you've seen how easy it was up there on the roof to clean out the gutters with that, because the best thing is you can switch hands back and forth. It's a lot easier to get it up on the roof. It's safer. And now that we've got all the debris blown out of the gutters, now I like to blow it off the concrete here. So we're going to go ahead and blow this off and then head into the pavilion area and blow all the leaves out from under there, so we can take them all to the woods here later with the bigger blowers. All right, so on this blower, it gives you a battery power, and I've got 2 bars left, and started with a full battery charge before he started up on the E-spouts and the gutters up there. But this is one of the downsides to any electric tool or cordless tool, battery powered, that I have. And I only own one battery for these because these things are ridiculously expensive. So my point is when my battery power is done, I've got another hour or two to wait for this thing to recharge. So in a lot of occasions, this is where I like to grab my backpack gas powered blowers and come in here and do the driveway areas and then underneath the pavilion, because this pavilion, the way the wind comes around the garage on both sides, it basically swirls it in and just dumps it in here. So I like to get this cleaned up. That is one of the downsides to any battery operated implement, is if you only have one battery, you really only have a certain amount of time you got to get leaves blown or projects taken care of. And I refuse to buy another battery for this one just because of the cost of them, because I've got a couple gas powered backpack blowers. It's easier just to throw them on and finish blowing the rest of this out. But it's quick and easy. When I climb down off the roof, I can go ahead and blow this little area out and in front of the garage doors. So let's go get the backpack blowers. This is the BR400 and this is the BR600. I don't know off the top of my head what the CFM for those are, but Chase and I are going to go ahead and finish blowing out some of these areas here. And then also down over here, I used to use the backpack blower to blow out around in front of the garage here where all the leaves deposit along the stone wall and that. So we'll go ahead and get that stuff blown out, and then we will move on to these other two units that I have here so you can see how they work. Okay, now we're going to jump over here to my billy goat blower setup that I made for my John Deere X758. And what I've got here is, it's a push style billy goat blower, and it normally has a handle that comes up off of it here, and you walk behind it like this, like a push mower. But I have removed the back wheels from it, and I've put it on this little cart. And it's not something I fabricated, but I did alter it, and it is made by JR Co, made in the USA. And the blowers actually sit on these things, but the blower is intended to actually be reversed as it sits on this cart. Well, here's the problem with that. My mower discharge is on this side, and a lot of times I like to mow and I'll have this blower hooked up to it. So I wanted something that was out in front of me, and it makes all the difference in the world having the blower out in front of you, so you're watching ahead of you as you're blowing the leaves. And then with this setup, I could also mow, and they were both discharging out the same side. But back to this cart, these are meant for a zero steer type of mower, and obviously I don't have a zero steer. But what I did was welded up some brackets, and if you look at this red pin that goes through here, I've made that mount to the plow mount of this tractor, and I've turned the cart around, like I said, so it discharges on this side. The front wheel is on the back where it would normally be on the front. So here's the neat thing about this, is when I unhook this, it actually still rides on this wheel, so I can push it around in the garage and it'll pivot on the two front wheel casters. But I did this setup, so like I said, so it's out in front of me, it's discharging on the same side. And again, this is a walk behind style unit. Removed the handle, and I have changed the lever here. I bolted it down here instead of up on this upper handle, which changes this direction of flow up or down. And then I remounted the throttle lever throttle lever, can't talk today, on this side of it. Here's the only other downside to this particular style of blower when you have it hooked to the machine, is this blower will only blow one direction. Whether it's spun around on this cart the way it's supposed to be, or whether it's how I've got it, it only blows one direction. And when we get to the other blower, I'll show you something really neat on that that makes it super nice. But we're going to go ahead and we're going to go down here and blow some leaves out so you can see how this works. All right, we're done with the little lawn tractor, and now we're here with the 855, and this is a tractor I did a video on there a month or so ago. And this is really the whole reason why I bought this tractor, was to power this beast here. And what this is a it's a cyclone blower, just like a jet engine. Got this protective cage on it, but there's fins in there. And this particular unit is made by Buffalo Turbine, and it is a PTO driven leaf blower or debris blower. And I got this tractor to specifically run this leaf blower. And one thing that where we're at with this is this particular unit requires a 20 PTO horsepower. This tractor is 19 PTO horsepower. So I am right at the very limit of the horsepower rating for this from the output of this tractor. Is it a problem? Not really. What I have noticed is if I'm going up a hill or something like that, I can hear the turbine in this spool down a little bit or go a little bit slower. But for the deal that I got on the tractor and the setup that I've got here, it just really makes it so much worth it. They make another one that is hydraulically driven, so if I wanted to mount it on the front of a skid loader or something like that. They make self-contained units that have their own gasoline or diesel powered engine on them, and they're on a cart that you tow behind. Well, what I like about this unit is it was cheaper. I picked it up from a golf course that was closing down, so I bought it used and PTO driven. I'm gonna say that's about a 14-inch exhaust port or blower tube. And the other really nice thing about this thing is this whole unit will pivot 360 degrees one way or the other. It's got a low electric motor back here on a belt, and what that does, you can see the bearings up here that it rides on. So this thing, as I'm driving, I can drive down with the blower blowing this way, turn the tractor around, rotate the blower, and come right back up. So let's go ahead and hop on this monster and get it running and move some leaves. And if you're wondering how I control that rotation on that, it comes with a cord that I've just got magnetized up here, and there's a switch box right here. And what that does is it allows me to turn it counterclockwise or clockwise as I'm running this machine, and it just goes down here to a 12-volt supply I tapped off of the tractor itself. So let's hop on this thing, and you can watch that this monster blows leaves 20, 30, 40 feet away. And with the amount of volume and output that this thing pushes, I can go through here and blow these leaves off in an hour versus hours and hours with all the other smaller implements that I have. you can see, that's an awful lot of leaves that I move. I got everything down along the driveway into the woods done. Got everything over here done. And I got everything all back up there done. But you can see that there's still an awful lot of leaves on the trees around here. So I'm sure there'll be a lot more leaf removal and leaf blowing that we have to do. And I hope that you were able to get some ideas on the different leaf blowers and stuff that I've used around here, how they might work out best for you, and what might be best for your option. Now, I understand that the one turbine blower that I have is quite extreme, but like I said, I blow off about, I would say a good 5 acres, and we're looking at about 1,000 feet up and down the hillside here. So if you like the video, I guess give me a thumbs up. Sure would appreciate it if you'd hit the subscribe button, and we'll see you on the next one. Thanks.